Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo, and I am here for Bocchi the Rock, Episode 9, Enoshima Esca, which I had some questions about. I wasn't sure what that meant, so I went looking for it, and I found that escar is a Spanish word for, or a Catalan word for fishing. I thought that might be the way to look for it, but it turns out that there's actually the world's first outdoor escalator is on the Enoshima island of Japan, and it's a pretty big outdoor escalator, and you can walk up the normal steps if you'd like to, but you can also get on this magic set of moving steps and stand on it and let it pull you up the island. So that's pretty cool, and that's probably what we're referring to. It's probably an escalator. Cool. Last time on Bocchi, we had a performance. It went pretty well, all things considered. It started out not going so well, and then Bocchi decided to show some of her stuff, pulled the band together, and pushed through, and really got some excitement from a number of the people in the crowd. Even got some of the less interested folks to get a little bit more interested, and that's just glorious. It was great. It was great. It was a good episode of Bocchi, and the songs, I think, really nailed it. And looking back, I kind of like that we folded that, you build up all this tension and this terror for a moment like that. You're up on stage, you're going to be showing yourself to people. It's this big thing, and then it's kind of over. And then it just sort of unsurreptitiously ends without much further ado. And you're in the aftermath, and you just have to let the adrenaline flow out of you, and and we did that by going to an izakaya and having a couple of really nice, goofy, stylistic change scenes, as well as a bunch of fun conversations between the older members of the bands and older members of different bands and people who've been in the industry a little bit longer, and some good advice, along with a heartfelt conversation with Nijika outside. All leading up to we're going on Enoshima, and I don't know why, other than we're going to ride an escalator, I think. And that's it. That's the whole thing. We're going to stay lean, mean, and clean here at the beginning. I'm not going to go too deep into blathering about too many things. I will say I did practice guitar today. Nice. My hands are getting stronger, and my ability to do like bar chords and stuff is getting significantly stronger. So I continued practicing that, as well as physically making my fingers hit the chord forms and then switch between them. And it's tough, and I'm getting better at it, and I'm glad. Drawing of the day is it's sketchy as hell. Because it's sketchy as hell. It's the Bocchi squad doing the Bocchi. That's Kita. And that's Nijika in the back. You can see the Dorito. And that's Bocchi. You can see that she's got little blocks on her hair. I think I drew her as a lefty. No, I drew her properly. So is Rio a lefty? Or did I just draw Rio as a lefty? And then I drew Kita as a lefty because I'm an idiot. Yeah, I think I drew them as lefties because I'm an idiot. But anyway, sort of a sketchy expressionist variant of the girls on screen. Oh, they're all right. I can see them on screen because the first frame of the episode is they're all right-handed. they're all standing there right-handed as normal as you would expect. So none of that. Let's see. Is there anything else that I particularly want to talk about here at the beginning of the episode? I don't think so. Let me go and check the comment section on the last episode to make sure that I'm not missing anything crucial. Hey, so totally an aside, but Super Base 1793, it's been slow but steady going over the past 3 months, but I finally finished Atomic Habits this week. Yeah. Things are slowly meandering in the direction of improvement. Yeah, mine too. It's been a lot of down for me. Because I kind of arrayed myself against against bigger enemies than I should be fighting, and also got hurt. And have still been dealing with that. Over the last couple days, I've managed to put something in my core back together, and I feel solid again for the first time. It's like the biggest relief. It's inexpressible. It's really inexpressible. Like having something in your core abdomen that's not sitting right when you've been strengthening it and you're used to it being strong, and nothing feels quite right, and you can't quite breathe quite right, and you can't put your hips quite right, and you can't. Everything's just a little bit off. Has been a special kind of mild hell, and that's 1% that has meandered in the direction of improvement recently, and I'm grateful for it. Meandering in the direction of improvement is all we can do. I think we're like waveforms, we go up, we go down, we go up, we go down, and so in infinite different different directions that we're traveling. It helps me a lot to know that when I'm in the down, that's a part of the going up. And when I'm in the up, it can take away from it, but it's important to know that that won't last forever either, and it should be cherished. And so, man, yeah, meandering in the direction of improvement down the lazy river is just right. There are definitely more things I need to implement or cut away, but now I have a better idea about how I might achieve those things. Thanks for introducing it to me. You're absolutely welcome, and I'm glad that it's been helpful for you. Yeah, I think that book is a really useful toolkit or perspective changer for looking at your life as something that you can actually materially manage. I think it's easy. I think it's easy because I've seen other people do it and I know that I've done it to become overwhelmed by your own existence and like, well, how the hell am I going to shape this thing into a way that I could live with? Like, this is not good and I have no path toward getting better. And it seems like getting better is, again, an array of infinite enemies that's just like way too big and giant dragons and endless titans of monstrousness along with all the horrors of the actual outside world, because I'm just talking about the internal world and the you part of things, the part that you have control over, let alone all the things that you have no hope of having control over, as far as we can tell. So having a bit of a toolkit that just says, like, hey, you know, it's possible to get better, and you can do it in teeny little steps that don't hurt you that much, and you do it piece by piece by piece by piece, and you take the things that you want to do and you move toward them, and you take the things that you don't want to do and you put them away from you, and it's like, oh God, oh golly, what a revelation, and it sure damn is. It's I'm glad. Multiple people commented on my question about the Japanese, and it's something like, let's switch it up and keep going. Let's just change it up, and it makes perfect sense. Okay, we'll leave that there. For the comments. Is there anything else? I'm standing. I'm currently standing. That's why there's room visible beyond my divider. There's no way angle-wise for me to get it quite right so that it's all divider visible and there's no room to visible, so I gotta figure out what to do about that. Maybe I need a taller divider. Maybe I should put the divider on stilts. Maybe I can't stand up, but I need to be standing up because sitting down has caused more of my problems in my core and my hips and stuff, and it's bad. So I'm gonna stand, and we'll see how it goes. And it seems to work better than sitting on the floor, which is probably better overall, but it's worse for camera angles and stuff. Figuring it out. Anyway, if you hate the setup, let me know that you hate the setup. People let me know a while ago that they thought that the setup was really bad, and that's part of why I changed it. So I appreciate the feedback, and we'll see what people think of it. That's it. That's the whole spiel. We're gonna watch some Bocchi the Rock. It's gonna Bocchi. They're gonna go to Enoshima, and I maybe have cute vacation time. Sounds like fun. Let's watch it. I've got episode 9 of Bocchi the Rock up and ready to go. There will, I think, be 2 versions. I think I'm still doing PiP for Bocchi the Rock. I'm phasing out picture-in-picture versions for some other things in favor of just the timer-based version. Partly for copyright reasons, and partly for, like, my own ethical stability. I think there might be... I'm not sure yet. I think there might be something wrong with redistributing the content, and I'd like to avoid doing things that make me feel like I'm failing morally. It's one of those 1%, maybe more than 1%. So we'll see. For now, I think there will be a picture-in-picture version of Bocchi the Rock, which will be available in the description, and the timer-based version, which you're watching right now, will be available up on YouTube. If you'd like to sync up your own copy with the timer, get your copy ready, because the PiP timer to count you down will be coming at you in a moment. And if you'd like to support the channel, as well as get a shout-out at the end of most of the videos, and some early access to some of the content, and access to the Discord where you can talk to me and other people who like anime, you can do that by following the Patreon down in the description. That's it. Let's watch Bocchi. Beep beep timer. Success. Oh. August 15th. I mean, it should end in September, right? So Yeah. Staying inside playing guitar. I enjoyed today. Mmm. Janai! Man, I know that feeling. Oh, tea. Mmm. Mmm. Mm-hmm. Right, I've cleared my completely clear. You gotta ask, man. You gotta set it up. You gotta be the one to initiate, you dingus. Nobody's gonna. Mmm. No. You just say, oh, her battery's almost dead. Oh, God. You just say, let's do a hangout. What do you guys want to do? Oh, my God. Out. Nope. It's only dinner time. Uh, uh. I'm sure someone will do it. Yes? What is... And deep on the inside is Bocchi? Oh, no, she's just watching YouTube videos. Oh, you know, oh, so it's me. It's a pear. It's a pear! Ha! I can't go anywhere. I'll just suck the light out of everything. Oh, just your sister. I didn't see this. I didn't see the thing on the side. Darn. It was something like something sis lying down another day. I think we've met all the characters from the OP now. Maybe some of that group. Oh, that's just normal. Oh, yeah, completely normal. Yeah, that's weird. uh, are? Uh, oh. Is that true? uh, oh, damn. Too many things. Too many friends. Total opposite. Wow, she's so cool and different. So. uh-huh. Uh-huh. Everybody's got their own things. If you don't push for it, it all falls apart. Don't ask. Don't ask. Yeah. I just assumed. Oops. Not a band at all. Oh, that's a big one. Oh, yep, she's gone. Nah? Come on. No. Oh, lovely. See, now this feels like Seishun E, which would make Bocchi more depressed. Yeah. Romance. Forever. Oh, and she's. Oh. Oh, we'll just use this. Go! Hang in there, Koto-san! Sometimes you gotta force it. Away we go. Her most hated thing. The #1 source of trauma. Really? Huh. Hmm. Hey? Hmm. Hmm. And it all just pops right out the brain. Yep. Whoa. Brutal. Sasuga senpai. You do that. Yes, it is. Darkness. All. Ne? It's like Weekend at Bernie's. Who needs soft serve when you got a liquid Bocchi just falling apart over here? Oh. Final. Just been spiraling into a black hole. Hmm. Oh. Oh my god, they've all got the glasses. Pop! They're too powerful. Awesome. Cool. Mm-hmm. Good job, Rio. Oh, that's very cute. Those little animations are very cute. Oh, you got the stick. Let's go. Memories. Yes! Oh, she's just gonna be breaking the fuck down. We just started! We just started, Bocchi! It's just overwhelming. Wait, what? What? Is there not more to... Yeah, what? Wrong. Going high fidelity now. Ah, many steps. My greatest enemy. Yeah, seeing it without working for it. No, I agree. No! Ah, Kitara! Kita! Uh. Kita! There you go, Basan. Getting it. The Eska. Esuka. Shut up, Kita. Yeah. Yeah. Do I walk? I hate the walking, though. I'll trade you a bass guitar. Where did you get... I don't think that the number of guitars... Yeah. You've broken a few. There we go. You're the one who has a taste for expensive cafes. Does it? Mm-hmm. Tropical. Fuck off. Get out my show. Get out my show. Oh. God, she's so energetic. Guitar! That's all they care about. Ah. The. Symphogear, the great myth. The great myth of Symphogear. Indeed. Kandingir! Oh, the air conditioning was great. You guys are the worst. Yeah, as long as somebody else pays for it, you freaking leech. You leech. I know we show Bocchi as a slug, but Rio is the leech. One more. I've almost got room for ice cream, but not shirasudon. Herbs. They're drawn to her darkness. Yeah. Just a squad of birds attacks. Amazing. Achieved! It was definitely an event. Definitely an encounter. Wild Pokemon attacks. Hmm. Hmm. That makes sense. Don't tell them. Oh, that's some hair. Oh, that little double blink was cute. Yeah, what were you actually? One or the other, you know. It wasn't for any of you. Lovely. The same train journey, but different color scheme, different lighting. What? Get that? Yeah, too much, too much, too much. Maybe once or twice. Yeah, and then some. God damn, Kita, you're too much. You're too much. I like this shot. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Tobin. Nope. And immediately the new day dawns, and all is new once more. I would like to be late. I would like to be later than late. How about if I just don't go? I would like to just not go. Oh. Walking around and going up some stairs and stuff. Uh-oh. Ah. All right. So we'll turn the cultural festival, which Bocchi hates so much, into something possibly enjoyable, almost a performance of some kind. In front of the school, though, that's going to be terrifying for her. Very good. That's a good thing to come to overcome. This was a very good beach episode, insofar as it was a vacation episode. Oh my god, look at that Dorito flip. Da 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 da. I really like that little trill in the song, or riff, or sequence, or what. After dark. I don't know what the heck that's gonna mean. This episode is delightful. So often I'll come out of an episode and I'll say, I really like this episode. This episode is delightful, as in full of delight for me. It's far less, how can I put this? It's far less psychologically scarring than most of the Bocchi episodes. In part because it's about getting outdoors and doing things and going places and making memories and seishun. It's about that seishun idea, that thing that juxtaposed with Bocchi's own internal existence makes her feel like she's a failure so often. But in this episode, she gets pulled into it a little bit and is actually able to enjoy some of it in a very real way. And part of it is just the enjoyment of being around her friends, but part of it is also she's outside and doing things, and it's really good. It's really good. It's really, 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 really good. Mentally, the thing that hits me of the episode is the feeling that nothing has changed over a break. Because that is exactly how I've spent most of my school breaks. Is exactly the same as otherwise. So, in my free time during school, play video games, watch anime. My free time during break, play video games, watch anime. Difference? No. What difference? What difference? I'm just gonna stay inside and play video games and watch anime. The sun burns. It burns. It kills me. I'm a vampire. What am I gonna do? So I vibe with that. I get it. And then comes the feeling of having missed something as that opportunity slips away, as that period of time when other people go on vacations and go places and do this and do that. Oh shit, I've made a mistake and I've let all of this magical free time slip away. But then you try to evaluate and it's like, well, what do you do with your free time? Shit, I don't know. And just like Bocchi, I have a damn hard time trying to organize things, trying to choose things for other people, or organize other events with other people, let alone actually getting the nerve up to ask about it, let alone actually getting the group together and going and doing it. So that touches my soul, certainly. As does the sequence of everybody sort of standing around realizing, oops, we didn't do it. I think as always, the answer is to be able to speak up. And I think that there's every opportunity when you're in a circumstance like this to just throw out the idea and get the idea spinning amongst your friends without having to be the person who puts it all together. You know, it's like with the bringing people over to your house. I got a comment or a couple of comments where people said that they felt like Bocchi felt that when people come over to their house, it's their responsibility to entertain them. And if they're not having a good time, that's your fault. And more importantly, that like you should be bending over backwards and tripping over yourself in order to make sure that everybody has a good time at your own psychological expense to some extent. And well, some parts of that are true and make perfect sense, and you do want the people who come over to your house to have a good time, but there's a balance there, and if you go too far in that direction, you're not only overwhelming yourself and harming your own experience of this potential great memory of being around your friends and having them over to your house and all these things, but you're also sort of controlling the experience a little bit too much and sort of helicoptering and hovering and, you know, always there ready to pour another drink. Like, is everybody doing okay? Right. And a little bit frantic, and it harms the experience for everyone when you're too focused on it. And in the same way, I don't think that one needs to take the responsibility of arranging an entire day with your friends, right? It's like, hey, everybody, you want to go to X place and do this and do that and do this and do that and do this. It's like, well, how does everybody feel about maybe considering going to the beach sometime this week? Okay, people feel like they want to do that, then we figure out a day when that would happen. Anybody got other suggestions for what we want to do? And you can work it out as a group. Like, divesting yourself of some of that responsibility can lead to a healthier experience, I think. And it gives everybody else the opportunity to do the things that they want to do too. And it ends up sort of happening naturally here, but there's this moment where Bocchi feels that, like, you know, she's going to reach out and text everybody, and then she feels like that brings upon her the responsibility of picking the place and the time and the event and the activity, and it's all overwhelming. It's too much. It's just too much for her. It's like, well, maybe do what you can, and indicate what you want. And I've said this before in this show and in many others, because I think it's part and parcel to the human experience of life. Ask and you shall receive. And you rarely get what you don't ask for. Here in this show, the group of friends that surround her are capable of pulling themselves out of themselves and putting themselves in Bocchi's mind and thinking about what's going on with her. And we get the whole sequence with Tensho-san, and she's figured out what's going on because she had that conversation with Bocchi, and she shares that with everybody else. And through some winding paths, they figure out that, oh wait, we should probably invite Bocchi out to something. That would be a good idea. But that doesn't happen that often. You know, I've said before, it only takes a couple of times of you being like, no, I'm not going to go hang out with you, before people stop asking. And so if you got friends, which I hope you do, and you want to hang out with them, throwing that out there as an idea is the best thing that you can do. It's a really good idea. And it's a really good idea even if you don't know what that will mean, because you can treat your friends like they're people, and like they might have their own ideas, and like they might have things that they want to do, and like they might be interested in hanging out with you. And that's a hard one to think about when you fucking hate yourself, right? Because then it's like, well, why would anybody want to hang out with my dumb ass? All I do is stay inside all day and play guitar. I'm a black hole sucking the light out of the universe, right? But if you presume that, well, maybe my friends aren't lying when they say that they'd like to hang out and that they care about me, that might, maybe I'll take them at their word on that front. And then maybe if I ask them if they want to hang out or have a good time, then maybe they'll say yes. And maybe they'll have some ideas about how we could do that. And maybe we could back and forth about those ideas and figure something out. And not only do I not have to overwhelm myself with the responsibility of setting everything up exactly the way that I want it to be, and everything has to be perfect exactly the way that I expect it to be, maybe it could be better if we collaborated on the process. And it is, usually, I think. So, I guess if I've got a takeaway from this episode, it's, if there's something that you want to do with some friends, you don't need to be super specific about it, and you don't need to have your whole plan planned out. It's not like, a lot of people expect that one person in a couple will figure out a date, and they'll have everything established and set up, and we'll be going here, and we'll be doing this, and we'll be doing that, and have a plan and all that stuff. And maybe with a date that's the case, but with a friend group, I don't think it's so. I don't think you need that. I think you just need willingness and communication, and to ask, because you're not gonna get everybody together if you don't ask. And I'll apply this to my own experience, which is last weekend. Not this most recent weekend. It's Monday today. Not this most recent weekend, but the weekend before that. Some friends were like, hey, do you want to go see the D&D movie, the Dungeons and Dragons movie? And yeah, absolutely. So I went with most of my D&D party and a couple of other people. We haven't played D&D in months, for a variety of reasons. And we went and we saw the movie, and it was fun. And after it, somebody was like, hey, are we gonna D&D at any point? So I sent out a text. I was like, hey, everybody in the party, when we free? Are we free this weekend? Are we free the next weekend? When can we D&D? And we set it up, and we figured it out, and we back and forth, and it was supposed to be this past weekend, and it couldn't be because of some time constraints, and so it's this coming weekend, and it's not the day that we would expect it to be, but the Sunday instead, and we've got a date set, and we're going to be playing D&D. And it's together, and it's happening, and I'm glad of it, and it's something for me to look forward to, and it's something that they're looking forward to, and they're already like talking about it. But it's all, I didn't have to come up with the whole plan. I do have more responsibility than they do in the whole thing, because I'm the DM, and I know what pieces of the story are possible next, and where our characters are at, and in a way that they don't, because of the nature of the campaign and all that jazz. So I've got more responsibility, but it's the reaching out and the negotiated space that really makes it happen. And it's the asking, because if you don't ask, and if somebody hadn't asked me, it probably never would have happened. And if I hadn't gone and asked the group, it probably never would have happened. So it's like, you want something? Ask for it. See what happens. And we've talked about this in Bocchi. Almost always, not only will people give you what you want, they'll enjoy doing so, and like you for asking them, which is weird. We always feel like we impose on others by presenting our desires, and it's usually quite the opposite. It's usually like, oh gosh, great, yeah, I'd love to help you with that. People are in my experience, usually incredibly helpful and love it, and the giver should be grateful. It's weird, but we talked about that Zen koan before. The giver should be grateful, and I think it's true. I think it's really true. So, well, we see what happens with Bocchi. We go out and we manage to do a really fun day, and it ends up being really fun, hardships and all, and those end up being memorable experiences. And there's a joke about it that's like, when the kites come and they attack Bocchi, and one of the characters goes, memorable experience achieved. And that's a horrible joke because it's like, well, but it was a negative experience. But it was a bad experience. Yeah, but sometimes those are the best memories because you hang out afterward and you're there with your friends and everybody picks each other up and you keep on going and it ends up being good. Like capital G good all the way through. I love her waffling about her schedule. It's like, I've cleared my schedule. It's so important to me. I mean, it's always already clear, but I mean, I really kept it clear and I thought about it being clear. Perfect. The dive into space-time geometry is fascinating and and and, and exactly right. Bocchi sees herself as like a black hole sucking in everything deep into the event horizon, time slowing down so much that it nearly stops, and fundamental relativity completely breaking down. So here we go. Another day, nowhere, lying around, really funny. Great. Thanks, sis. Yeah, she sees right through her. Awful. Brutal. Wow. A menacing aura of Bocchi. Indeed. Acting strange? No, she's been fine. The only one of these chemical compounds that I know of is astaxanthin, which I think is included in the krill oil that I was taking a while ago. I think it's a secondary compound? I don't know. Yeah, it occurs in certain algae and causes the pink-red color in salmon. And it's an antioxidant. What? Why she's going through these? I don't know. I don't know why she's going through those. The little sequence of her dancing the samba is utterly cute. Cicada graves? Horrifying. They all assume that it's because she doesn't want to go back to school, which it is, but it's really because she hasn't had the right memories to pull her through. Little sister being... I've got too many things to do. I've got so many friends and so many activities. Just brutal. Just rough. And Kita has sort of the same sort of thing, and everybody sort of gets busy in their own sorts of ways, except for Rio, who just assumes that everyone else has already done it. This brings me back to the D&D thing, to the Dungeons & Dragons thing, because Dungeons & Dragons has, to some real extent, kept my friend group together. And it's the easiest thing in the world to let it fall away. And I think this is, regardless of whether it's D&D or some other activity that you do with your friends, if you don't schedule it out, plan for it, and try as hard as you can to make sure that you do it relatively consistently, it slips away. And it's not because anybody wants it to slip away or is pushing away from it or anything like that. It's just that life is complicated and people have their own things to deal with all the time. Work, life, love, romance, other friend groups, other friend things, dogs, houses, things to clean, bills to pay, fucking, terror about the existential, existential crises to have, fear of the future, losing their jobs, gaining new jobs, working differently at their jobs, their damn boss is doing this to them, their damn friends at work are doing this to them, their car broke down, their car needs work, they're they got injured, they gotta go to the gym, they're doing all the, everybody's got a billion things to do, everybody's pulled in 1,000 directions, and so if you don't put in some real material effort to maintain the bonds between people, they fall apart. Things fall apart, and friend groups are things, and friend groups fall apart, and it's like natural that they do so. And so you have to unnaturally force them a little bit. You have to push them a little bit, and you have to make sure that they stay a different way. You have to schedule things out. You have to try, and it takes actual work. I mean, in the mechanical, physical sense, like work, effort, expenditure of energy. You got to put energy into the system in order to keep those bonds going. Otherwise, they fall apart. Those weird molecules of groups of unique people that get together and form something stable or stronger, those stable bonds don't stay stable on their own. They'll become unstable and they'll fall apart. So you have to put work in just by the nature of things. And there's no moralism to it. It's no evil thing that tears friends apart. It's just the nature of it. Just the natural order of things. Like, stuff evaporates. People fall away from each other. And so you got to put effort into it. And I think the same is true for any kind of relationship. If it's a familial relationship, at least you've got the bonds of blood, but without effort, those bonds will fray and fall apart too. And if it's a romantic relationship, you've got the bond of love, but that shit falls apart and frays too. If you don't put active, intentional, conscious, discussed, usually, like talked about between the individuals, collective, intentional effort into maintaining and forging those bonds, they disappear. And if you want proof of this, just stop maintaining the bonds in your life and they'll fall apart and you'll be alone. It's the easiest thing in the world. It's the easiest thing in the world. And then you'll find out if any of your friends have a different attitude toward it because they'll start reaching out. And then it only takes 1 or 2 times where you say no before they stop reaching out, right? Right. So it all mishmashes together, and it's like, well, you don't want to walk down that road because you'll be alone. And we don't do that well when we're alone. So put in some effort into the relationships that you care about, and maybe you'll get something great out of them. What a great idea encapsulated in this episode, because that's exactly what it shows. It shows the potential for something great. Okay, the little Seishun-y sequence where we go into this beautiful oil painting-y sort of style. I've got lovely little couple just falling over each other. Ah, tropical love forever. And she's dead. Come on, Bocchi. I'll take this opportunity to say that Kita's outfit throughout the episode is ultra cute. It's ultra cute. The little lacy collar ribbon thing on the thing with the little lacy frocky thing on the top it's very cute. It's a very good Kita outfit. I like Ryo's attitude towards studying. It's the attitude that many of us have had, and many of us know is not the right way. Cramming only works to some extent, and you lose all the information immediately afterwards, so you probably don't want to do that. I like the way that she says, if I study too much, I forget how to play bass. Focusing too much on one thing or another sucks the creative energy right out of you. There's something tickling at the back of my brain. I can't remember exactly what it is. It was from my Great Artists book, and it was somebody who was forced to do a bunch of life drawing in school. Oh, I know who it was. It was William Blake. William Blake, 244. He enrolled as a student at the newly founded Royal Academy, but could not tolerate the life drawing he was required to do there. According to him, copying nature deadened the vigor of his imagination. There we go. I knew that there was something tickling at the back of my brain. Yeah, there are people throughout history who've reported that like rote study destroys their ability to think for themselves. I don't know how true it is, but there are people who've written as such or stated as such about themselves. There might be some truth to it. I don't know. Certainly, certain types of learning change the way that your brain works materially. There's some evidence that memorizing poetry, for example, changes the way that your verbal and linguistic systems work on a fundamental level in potentially a very valuable way for a lot of people. But you can really materially change your brain by studying in certain ways. So it makes sense. I mean, maybe Rio's correct. Or maybe she, like she often does, is just coming up with an excuse to not do the things that she doesn't want to do. And of course, Kita cannot handle hearing all of these negative things about her Rio. No! Just a goop Bocchi. And then I think probably my favorite thing about the episode are the boys. The classic. Come eat at our surf shack. And they're real life party animals. They've got the star glasses on. I think that Rio must steal a pair from them or something. It's unclear. And they're just exactly the classic. I do want to see the moment where she pops. Oh gosh, she exploded. It's too much. They're doing this little. They're too powerful. Oh gosh. Archetypal Beach Bros. Some fun crispy takoyaki. Taco something. What is it? Taco sen. Enoshima fried taco senbei. Yeah, that's a real thing. Wow. Okay, so it's 2 or 3 whole octopi coated in flour and then pressed super flat. Pressed with an iron at 185 Celsius and squeezed down real hard. Or shrimp senbei, where they take a big shrimp and they press that down. So it's like they hydraulic press a fish thing in batter. That's really cool. What an interesting food concept. Are there any images of the press? Oh, there we go. There's a TikTok. Just put the octopus in the center. It's got a crank to squeeze it down, and man, it really squeezes that motherfucker down. Octopus pressed into a rice cracker. Coated in a little bit of sauce. And made crunchy crispy. That's super cool. All right. That's freaking neat. Today I learned a new food. I really love, they're also individually drawn, I think. No, they're separate. No, sorry, they're repeated, they're copied. They're all the same as far as I can tell. The little octopi going, boink, boink, boink. Super cute. Just ultra cute. Fiend. Of course, Kita's super into running up all these stairs. Kita! So powerful. I love the Basan, who's just casually walking up these stairs for the 1,000th time. Walks up these stairs every 2 days or whatever. Baller. Sell them bases, ride the escalator, go to the place. All they care about is the air conditioning. Indeed. And also, this is the Tower of Babel. Very cute. The kites attack. A memorable event indeed. A self-centered wish. And a cute conversation finally between Kita and Bocchi. The actual, because they're actually schoolmates, you know? Well, we'll see. She says something along the lines of, I'll actually talk to Bocchi in the future, and well, we'll see. And yeah, if you do some exercise and you're not used to doing exercise, you're going to have a bad time the next day, or 2 days later. More frequently, 2 days later. It's a weird thing about muscle soreness is that you end up getting it's delayed onset muscle soreness or DOMS. You end up getting it like 2 days later, and it's just the worst. It's just the worst. I experienced that to some extent when I started going back to the gym and lifting again, because you take a break off and your muscles are like, oh yay, we get to be lazy. We can just follow. Oh no, we have to work. And yeah, they have to work and they don't like it. So next time, I think we end up going back to school. What is the episode titled? All right, After Dark. So it's unclear to me whether that has anything to do with going back to school, but time-wise, they'll be going back to school and moving toward potentially a cultural festival where they might do, I don't know, they might do a thing. Let me go find the poster. It's right at the end. Stage performers wanted. Shuka Festival. Participant interview. Stage crew requirements. Application deadline halfway through September. Occurs on 1st and 2nd of October. Awesome. And there's the band right there in the little corner. That's them. That's us. All right. Well, that's going to be happening, and we'll see how it goes. Seems like the kind of thing that would absolutely terrify Bocchi, and for good reason. Performing in front of a stage at Starry is one thing, but performing in front of your school with people who go to school with you and kind of know you, that's a different set of problems. Cool. Well, we'll see how that goes next week. Thanks for watching, everybody. I think we're going to wrap there for Bocchi the Rock. Relatively compact episode discussion, because most of what I think about this episode can be summed up in the first thing that I said about this episode. I think it's delightful. I think it's filled with joy and going outside and sunlight and enjoying time with friends, and the whole episode is built around making that occur and building out these cute memories for these characters to enjoy a piece of their summer break. Maybe Bocchi's first summer break where she's been able to really hang out with people. And that's dope as hell. So my takeaway is reach out to your friends. See if you can get something to happen. You might be surprised by their response. You might get crushed by it too. I don't know. So, I take no responsibility for your your emotional distraughtness if you find out that all your friends hate you. Sorry. But I think you might be surprised, because I think people are often reluctant to be the one to initiate. And if you just set things rolling, set things in motion, maybe they'll continue in motion, and that might make your whole life a lot better. So thanks, Bocchi the Rock, for this episode about friendship and doing things, striking while the iron is hot, perhaps. And thank you for watching me watch this episode of Bocchi, where I get to blather about my own shit and the Bocchi stuff and all that jazz. See you next week for more Bocchi the Rock. Peace.